Yo, what's going on, guys? And I'm being told right now at 11:28 p.m. that Ben Simmons is going to be signing with the Los Angeles Clippers, as my buddy is being told by sources, aka my buddy who's an LA media member. I mean, I'll be posting this when it happens, or maybe I do it before, but I thought he was going to go. I always thought he was going to go to Los Angeles, but I really have found that this is going to be even more interesting, that he's going to go to the Clippers and not the Lakers. I do like the idea of Tyronn Lue being the guy, because the Clippers signing Ben Simmons, that's right, folks. It's not the Lakers. No, the Clippers are doubling down on their commitment to defense first and playing through their studs. And let's just talk about how this polarizing fit could turn into a playoff weapon. Obviously, Tyronn Lue and his clipboard of madness. So let's look at the current glance of the situation. Kawhi's making, what, 49 million this year, and you have James Harden making 33.6, Norman Powell 19.2. You brought in Drew Eubanks that I really liked. Also, I thought Bogdan Bogdanovic and Marjan Beauchamp are really two good flyers, especially Bogdan Bogdanovic. He's had a rough start this year, but in the past few years, he's been a 3-3 guy that's really solid. And Drew Eubanks gives them a really good, solid backup to Zubac. And for the Clippers, they're already one of the top teams in the league, third in scoring defense, with them only allowing 107.5 opponent points per game. And Simmons coming to this team will now allow Tyronn Lue to deploy lineups that are so switchable that you wouldn't even be able to think. Okay, Simmons being able to guard 1 through 5 while Kawhi takes naps mid games is going to allow them to preserve those knees until 2035. And for me, Harden tossing lobs to Simmons, or Simmons throwing lobs to Zubac, or my man, Mr. Derrick Jones Jr., who can still jump out the gym. And I'm really saying nothing says Lob City like a 6'10 power forward who treats shooting like a dentist appointment. I'm sorry, guys. I just thought that was funny. Or Zubac running screens and catching the short roll passes from Simmons, or Simmons even being the short roll passer himself, or Simmons running a pick and roll and driving and then kicking out to Powell, who passes it to Batum, who passes it then to James Harden for the open three. Art, baby. And obviously, we're going to address the elephant in the room first. This is a team that, heading into this, is already not necessarily a great three-point shooting team. However, they do play at a pace that is fifth worst in the league. I'm serious about this. They are the 25th worst pace in the league. That's slower than the DMV line. And their efficiency in terms of points per game, as I told you, is sixth worst, as Simmons, who is a career 0 non-shooter from 3, especially over the last few seasons, is like solving a math problem by throwing a dictionary at it. Their spacing, which is already tighter than my jeans after Thanksgiving dinners, is now who wants to drive into the human wall. But I think that's if you're looking at this half glass full. I actually think this might work. I think the Clippers already have Kawhi, Mr. Chris Dunn, Nick Batum, Derrick Jones Jr. Zubac is, formidable at times. So adding Ben Simmons to this team turns this squad into the NBA's version of Ocean 11, stealing passes, swatting shots, and generally ruin everybody else's fun. And putting Ben Simmons on this squad is like hitting the turbo button to a luxury sedan. Yeah, Tyronn Lue is the same mastermind who turned LeBron and a bunch of G Leaguers into a championship team that went to, 4 straight finals? And remember, he sicked Tristan Thompson on Steph Curry. And Simmons' defense could let Tyronn Lue cook up lineups that are so switchable that opponents get motion sickness from the ever-changing players. And Simmons could be James Harden's sous chef, dishing dimes in transition to Kawhi. And I know they're 27th in three-point attempts, so Simmons' refusal to shoot would turn this into a half-court offense that might be like, But I really do believe that Simmons' recent stat line, 6 points per game, isn't really indicative of what he can do. He isn't like, I know someone's going to be like, look, he looks like an all-bench energy guy than an all-star, but the thing is if he can play defense like a honey badger on espresso, throw passes so crisp they belong in a veggie tray, run fast breaks like he's being chased by a wild pack of wildebeests, Forget the contract expectations. On a minimum deal, Simmons is a low risk lottery ticket if he rediscovers 80% of his Philly form. He's the steal of the decade. If not, well, at least he'll give us a bunch of memes. And I think the Clippers give him a wild card. Tyronn Lue's chaotic magic might make it work. And I think if there's anyone who could turn Ben Simmons into a small ball center point guard hybrid, it's the guy who won a title with Kevin Love at the 5. And in the end, I do say, Simmons isn't going to be the savior. He's a luxury item, but in the right system, he could be that glue that turns a good team into a contender, or at least the guy who makes us say, wait, why is Ben Simmons trending again? And when you look at the team, I think, Tyronn Lue has been able to take a guy who made load management a household phrase and allow the Clippers half-court offense that relies on James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Norman Powell to have an actual guy be a table setter and tell James Harden, go off ball. Stay there. And having Harden, Powell, Kawhi, Derrick Jones Jr., Nick Batum, Chris Dunn, there's a lot of guys who can shoot. And this is a team that has guys who can get buckets. And I think Ben Simmons being able to throw these Cirque du Soleil type passes, it'll allow them to do what they want. And I think the thing is very little risk because they're not paying $4 million for him. They're going to be paying him a minimum salary. And as the 6th seed in the West, I think the Clippers are close to being able to go from a playoff contender into contending status. And I think Simmons isn't necessarily the missing piece, but if you look at it all that they brought in, MarJon Beauchamp, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Ben Simmons, he's the jigsaw corner you jam into place with a hammer. That's in Tyronn Lue's world. Chaos breeds brilliance. If Simmons can rediscover even 50% of his Philadelphia form, the Clippers could morph into a defensive nightmare that might be reminiscent of the Detroit Pistons in 2004, which might be enough transition flair to scare and beat the Nuggets, Suns, the Luka Doncic-led Lakers, and anyone else in their path. If not, we'll get to at least watch Kawhi stare at Simmons with the same expression he uses for load management questions. Maybe you'll laugh. Priceless. Either way, welcome to LA, Ben, where you want to be. I'm ready. My popcorn is. And I bet you a large portion of the internet will be too. I do think it's an interesting fit. And I'm excited as, by the way, it's February 6th, 11:36 p.m. And I know this is happening. So whenever the news does break, just know Ciro told you first. But yeah, what do you guys think? I think the idea of that happening would be rather cool. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's crazy sometimes to think about how a team like the Clippers or really, if you look at it like a team like the Clippers could be those sneaky dark horses that end up beating you, and nobody could maybe expect it. Or maybe they do. Who knows? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If there was anything else that I might have missed, let me know. And yeah, I think it's definitely a situation where I look at it as this could really turn into a great one or a great experience, or it could blow up, but I like it. I like it. Bye.